Hey, this is Tom. Welcome back to the Burrnament 2025 Medium Espresso Edition. If you don't know what we're doing here, then you've probably been living in a cave for the last 6 weeks. What I did is I got 64 mil single dose mostly grinders, 16 of them in fact, and I put them head to head in a kind of like a tennis tournament format. So 16 grinders, therefore 8 matches in the first round. They went head to head and the losers went home and the winners went through to the quarterfinals, which are these ones here. So this is the third of 4 quarterfinals. Now, just so that everyone's aware, all the grinders were seasoned, they were all aligned, they were all dialed in. 2 decent i1 XL espresso machines were used, so 1 grinder from each match was poured with each of those 2 espresso machines, mitigating or minimizing all the variables, temperature, grind setting, etc., pour, flow rate, except for the 2 grinders. And that's what decided the winner. I had 5 baristas here. We used a blind taste test protocol as in terms of, the blind grind taste compare that we do here at the Grinder Lab. So this was the chart with the original round of 16. You can press pause if you like. And these were the quarterfinalists that went through. We've already decided on 3 out of the 4 quarterfinals. This is kind of the big one. This is the one I've been holding out for, in fact. 2 of my all-time favorite burrs for the medium or medium light espresso, the WPM ZP-1 with the Keber burrs, fabulous Italian Keber burrs. And coincidentally, another set of Italian burrs in the Mazzer Philos i189D burr. So this is what our semis are looking like. We've got the VS6 Supernova Flat versus the Mazzer Super Jolly coming up in the first of 2 semifinals. And of course, SSP HU or Espresso burr is going to come up against the winner of the Keber WPM ZP-1 grinder burrs or the Mazzer Philos i189 burrs, depending on who takes the honors. So let's rock and roll. That's what's happening today. These are the 2 grinders in question with their stock burrs, both beautiful grinders, both very high quality and really light commercial cafe grinders, which we're fortunate to be able to get onto our benches at home should we have the budget. So as mentioned, all blind taste testing using our logs, which I'll show you in a moment, the Lazy Susans, the BS detector, the equalizer, and so on, just to make sure that the only difference, other than the 3 blind tasting baristas who's actually judged the results, the only difference are the 2 grinders that we're comparing the coffees from. So please do go ahead and subscribe, like and share with your caffeinated friends, please, because that's a little bit of a reward. Now, one of the things I'm doing special with the quarterfinals is I'm giving you a heads up on a couple of points I really like about each grinder and maybe a bit of a wish list as well. So for the Philos i189D burrs and the grinder itself, what do I like? Absolute overkill for home, and I love that. I'm really into overkill and over specs. It's the sort of grinder that your grandchildren are going to be able to use. Well, certainly mine. I don't know what age you are, but it'll well outlast me. So 2 custom burrs, I really like that. I think I'd love to see Mazzer come out with a couple more, but still we've got the i200D burr, which is superb light roast espresso burr. Also pretty good hybrid burr if you want to do pour over or filter with the same burr set as well as espresso. And the other, of course, the one we're testing today is going to the match as a i189D burr. And this is a fabulous burr for the medium light. So 2 custom burrs, pretty good variety of choice there. Not too much of a pain in the butt to change the burrs out. A little bit of fluff, but not too bad. Fairly straightforward. Aesthetics, I really like the look of the grinder. I think it looks like the workhorse that it is. You turn it on and it vibrates and the bench starts to hum. It's really a big kind of coffee turn on for me. Wish list, more burrs, I mentioned that. Let's have a look at the WPM ZP-1. Now, I have to say, this is the only grinder that never leaves my bench. I've got grinders coming and going, but this is the one I rely on to give me that medium light, even light or dark roast if I like. It's got quite a wide sweet spot. I really like the upper burr removal. Now, both of these grinders I have reviews of on my channel. Go and search for them. They're not in this playlist, in the main playlist. Upper burr removal is just stunning. If you've never seen it, you've got to watch it, because all you do is you push, twist, and pull, and that's the upper burr carrier move. So really easy for deep cleaning or having a look and seeing what's going on inside the burr sets there. Premium end game, no question about the quality of the components. Aesthetics, I really like the look of it. It's a little broader than, say, a P64 or a DF64V, but I quite like that chunky look, and I think the angles and the smoothness of the edges, they've been curved off around the base, everything. It's just really nicely designed aesthetically. What I would wish is I would like to have the RPM dial upgrade. At the moment, it's 1 to 12 from memory or 1 to 10. It doesn't have the number of the RPM. You just kind of have to figure that out. Not a big deal, but it's something that has been upgraded on the Konos. They've got an RPM display, which is the second of the two WPM high-end premium burr grinders, the Konos being conical. Also have a review of that on my website. So that's my wish list. Let's go and have a look at the tasting logs from the blind tasting baristas. The first one was from Christoph. He chose the Mazzer. He said very close, but the Mazzer sort of edges it out. And you can see from here which characteristics in the cup that won it for the Mazzer. So for the ZP-1 Keber burrs, actually he noted greater flavor strength, fuller body, a bit more acidity. For the Mazzer, he liked the fact that he had a bit more clarity, a bit more sweetness, and a better finish. Christoph's really into the finish. So for him, it was the Mazzer Philos 189D. So is it going to take the second one as well, in which case it would be the winner, or are we going to have a split decision? So this one is from Daniel. He picked the Keber burrs. And again, have a look at the characteristics that he preferred down here. The baristas, of course, don't pick up the same thing. That's the beautiful thing about the human experience. Celebrate the diversity. We have a different experience of the coffee, even though the coffee might be almost identical. More clarity, more sweetness, better finish. So he preferred the Keber burrs, which comes in the WPM ZP-1. So the deciding vote goes to Stan, who's our coffee aficionado. If we have one, definitely the ZP-1. Not even close, according to Stan, even on flavor strength and body. But the ZP-1 took it out on having a bit more acidity, a bit more clarity, a bit more sweetness, and a better finish. So that's it. It's a split decision. Here is the summary log, which I put together. And forgive me, but I've had to... my writing wasn't particularly clear, so I've done a facsimile of a copy of what I'd actually written in. The Keber is the winner, two baristas to one. These are the comments from the baristas that I collected verbally afterwards. Number one, close, but the Philos 189D by a whisker. Number two, ZP-1 Keber burrs, clear winner, richer flavor and better finish. Number three, ZP-1 clearly fuller flavor, more interesting flavor notes. So that's very interesting. I mean, personally, I'd be really happy with either of these burr sets for this medium or medium light roast espresso, but the baristas have spoken, and it's the WPM ZP-1 that gets 2 out of these 3 votes. So it goes through to the semifinals. Let's have a look at our semifinals then. We are now looking at, as I said, the WPM ZP-1 Keber burrs joining and challenging the SPHU or Espresso burr for a spot in the final. And the next semi-final, which will be coming out to you in 3 or 4 days' time, will be between, this is where the heat really gets on, the VS6 Supernova Flat versus the Mazzer Super Jolly 033M burr, which, as I mentioned in the last video, I think is the same result in the cup as the 233M burr. It's just that the latter is designed to grind a bit faster. So coming to, as I said to you, in 2 or 3 days' time, no, 3 or 4 days' time, wash my mouse out, is match 13 VS6 Supernova versus Mazzer Super Jolly 033M. Boy, a lot of letters and numbers to remember with these things. There we go. That's the next one. As always, please, as I said before, share, share it with your caffeinated friends. And if you want to get a better espresso in the cup, whatever that means to you, fuller flavor, better balance, smoother finish, head on over to Tom's Grinder Lab, download the Espresso Troubleshooting and Optimization Guide. I put this together to cover some basics, the 3 big things that a lot of people get wrong. For example, not flushing out cold water, not heating up the portafilter, all to do with starting temperature right. 3 things that are basic that can fix a lot of espresso problems. And then I've got a series of checklists saying, is your coffee sour? Do this. Try these 3 things. Is it bitter? Is it not well balanced? And so on. So this is a very valuable guide to get the most out of your espresso. Pop over there, download it. It's completely free. And I look forward to seeing you at semi-final number 1 in 3 to 4 days' time. Cheers.